We're back in Kumakwane for a quick recap of the incredible Toyota Kalahari Botswana 1000 Desert Race. As expected, the fans came in their thousands to witness driving of the highest order, much to the delight of Kalfein Aman.
Kalfein, you must be very proud of this event.
Yeah, this is a fantastic event for Toyota, and I'm sure for all the other guys also. A lot of preparation went into it, and we hope to win it and to do a lot of good work for Hilux and for Toyota in this race.
Let's get straight into the racing. Anthony Taylor and Dennis Murphy of Team Castrol Toyota were the early leaders after teammates Leroy Poulter and Alvin Kutsia dropped out due to electrical problems.
They may not have won any races this season, but they've been consistently good. Hichu de Bruin and Henry Hichu in the Michelin Toyota finished the day in second place. After another incredible performance, the leading specials brigade were Colin Matthews and Alan Smith, also competing in the Dakar Challenge.
The men they were after, also looking to win the trip to South America, Thomas Rundle and Juan Moore from Regent Racing.
A man who's been to Dakar on a quad, Cyril van Biljon, driving with Philip Hesselman in ex-Berthold Atlas Copco Toyota.
Foss and Howie going strongly in their Castrol Toyota Hilux.
But they'll need to be wary of Visser and Badenhorst, current championship leaders in the factory racing Ford Ranger.
The beautiful but unrelenting desert of Botswana has captured many victims over the weekend, but not father and son Hammond and Vikot Sulvalt in their elegant fuel striker.
Lance Woolridge and Ward Huxtable of Ford Racing complained of misfires throughout the prologue.
Archie Rutherford in the Imperial Automotive Navarro with celeb navigator Rob Simpson, the CEO of Donaldson Filtration Solutions.
This is not for the faint-hearted. Another Atlas Copco pair, Johan van Staden and Mike Lawrenson.
They finished 12 seconds ahead of these two, Terence Marsh and Gerard Skitter in the Regent Racing Nissan Navara.
Christian Deploy and Henita Steger in the RFS BMW X3 had no major problems so far.
Loder Brain and Rian Hueling from Rubicon Racing loving the route.
Michael Whitehouse and Matthew Carlson of Regent Racing had no comms throughout qualifying and then suffered a broken gear lever and no power steering.
Followed by Henny de Klerk and Johan Smallberger in their LA Sport BMW X3.
We haven't seen many specials. Neil Mayer and Joseph Lewis of Maxi's Liqui Moly Rockstars said they're just hoping to finish.
Another set of Sulvalts, the father and son team of Quinton and Cully from Elegant Fuel, lost about 10 minutes in qualifying after getting their jack stuck under the car while changing a flat.
Not far off in another Regent Racing Navarro was Schroeder flying solo as navigator Abramson hurt his back during Loop 1.
Nardis and Louis Alberts in their Rapsa Bat still going strong despite the concern that they could run out of tyres. Spectators in Botswana are always keen to find the best vantage point, while the lead in Class E, Dirk Patter and Jacobus Klaassen in their Ford Ranger aiming to complete 17 finishes from 18 starts.
Currently leading Class D, the Trisim Racing pair of Jason Venter and Vincent van Alleman described the event as long and tough. And all on his lonesome Graham Peterson in single-seated Dragonfly.
But right up front, reaching the flag first after day 2, Anthony Taylor and Dennis Murphy from Castrol Toyota. An incredible performance, but they'll have to do it all over again tomorrow. The pair finishing in a time of 7 hours, 57 minutes and 55 seconds, 45 seconds ahead of Hichu de Bruin and Henry Hichu, while Dakar challengers Thomas Rundle and Juan Moore from Regent Racing are almost 12 minutes off the pace.
Over in the special vehicles, no surprises as Colin Matthews and Alan Smith came home in front, having dominated the route for most part of the 2 days so far.
The duo taking their total time to 8 hours, 9 minutes and 4 seconds, almost 7 minutes clear of the Sulvalts, Hammond and Vichart, while Neil May and Joseph Lewis are third.
Racing may be over, but the work is far from finished. The DSP was a hive of activity as the sun went down.
I think it's going to be a late night for all of us. We've got a bit of work to do. Fortunately, nothing too serious, no major problems. Our biggest problem is we've got a misfire on Chris's car. So that's going to be a bit testing, trying to find electrical gremlins in the middle of Botswana, in the middle of the desert will be a bit of a challenge, but I'm sure we'll sort it out and we can go again tomorrow.
It's a bit like what we do on the Dakar, just it only lasts 3 days instead of 2 weeks. But yeah, it's virtually a complete rebuild. Well, not a complete rebuild, but we have to go through the whole car and make sure everything is as good as new when the car starts tomorrow morning.
Good luck, guys and girls. You're going to need it as one more day of racing awaits.
It's the third and final day of the Toyota Botswana Kalahari 1000 Desert Race. And behind me is a Castrol Toyota Hilux. But this time it doesn't belong to Leroy Poulter. In fact, you can see him getting into his car. Anthony Taylor and Dennis Murphy. They're the ones to beat.
Still another long day, another 450 odd kilometers, so the pressure's there now just to bring it home in one piece. Fortunately, I've got the dust on my side today, so must just not make any mistakes and just nurse it and look after it and bring it home.
It's hard to believe that it's the final day, yet it's 500 k's to go.
Yeah, this is a long race. It's really a race of endurance, this. You've got to drive with your head, you've got to keep it together, and then the whole time you still got to go flat out. So it's a very difficult, demanding race, but it's an awesome race. The people here in Botswana is just insane. The amount of support we get here. You know, you come to some of the road crossings and there's literally just thousands and thousands of people. So it really is awesome to race here.
The talking's over, qualifying and day one are done. Now all that's left is to get the final day of racing underway. The climax to what is a truly marathon race. Taylor and Murphy lead the way in their Castrol Toyota Hilux.
Starting 45 seconds behind them, the Mickelin Toyota pair of Hichu de Bruin and Henry Hichu.
They're third overall, but they're first in the special vehicles, and they're the current leaders in the Dakar Challenge, Matthews and Smith from Century Racing.
Confirmation of the overall start list. We've seen the first three. They're followed by Thomas Rundle and Juan Moore from Regent Racing, with Sarel van Biljon and Philip Hurselman from Atlas Copco in fifth.
Up front with Taylor and Murphy, Taylor came very close to winning this event last year, and barring a major calamity, he must be the favourite to do even better this time round.
Especially considering that they won the Toyota Dealer Sugar Belt 400, confidence is sky high, and so is their current form.
Messrs Consistency, Hichu de Bruin and Henry Hichu, who lost the lead yesterday after a flat at 170 k's.
It's not quite Dakar, but this is certainly terrain that Colin Matthews and Alan Smith will encounter in South America, were they to win the Dakar Challenge. The Century Racing pair well out in front in the specials.
For the uninitiated, they didn't stall there. Cars must stop at each and every crossing, regardless of whether marshals have stopped the traffic.
Rundle and Moore currently third in the production vehicles, having enjoyed a phenomenal race thus far.
In fact, they said it was the first time they've ever driven 240 k's without getting out of the car, but they've just been overtaken by Van Biljon and Hasselman. Van Biljon looking equally at home in a 4x4 as he is in a quad.
The big man is built like a rugby player and was sensational at Dakar this year, winning 3 stages on his four-wheeler.
On board now with Duncan Voss and Rob Howie from Team Castrol Toyota, the defending champs of this race, and the Donaldson Cross Country Championship. And the two men have also been to Dakar.
Who can forget, coming 10th in their debut year in 2012. Unfortunately, they were forced to retire during this year's race, and they're currently gaining on the front runner.
That they are. Well, it looks like massive drama ahead as the pair have encountered a stationary Rundle and Moore. Their rival seems to have awoken the Regent Racing pair, who've managed to stay ahead.
A definite casualty in this battle, Rundle and Moore managing to get away, leaving the dreaded dust in their wake, much to the dismay of Voss and Howie, I'm sure.
Plenty of dust being left behind by championship leaders Fis and Bardnos from Ford Racing. The duo have had an excellent run this season and captured victory in the second race of the Donaldson Cross Country Championship, the Unkamazi 400.
They experienced a constant misfire during day 2, but it hasn't affected them too much. They're very much in the hunt for a place on the podium.
The Silvalds, Hammond and Vickard from Elegant Fuel currently lying in second place. Impressive, especially seeing as Vickard said that the car is proving to be very uncomfy and that his body feels like it's being torn apart.
The winners of the first race of the season, Lance Woolridge and Ward Huxtable from Ford Racing, experienced minor problems on day 2. However, Lance had taken ill overnight and decided to retire at this point.
Sad for them, but their race is over. Terence Marsh and Gerard Skitter, they're still going in their Regent Racing Navarra.
Now with Christian Deploy and Henny Testeger from RFS, they experienced a puncture towards the end of day 2 that cost them a few places.
That certainly would have hurt them. They've struggled to reach the flag this season, even though they've done extremely well during qualifying. Let's hope for their sake that they turn the corner in this race, while we get a glimpse of Van Staden and Lawrenson slowing down with a dreaded puncture.
Although we are still a long way from the flag, another BMW, this one belonging to Henny de Klerk and Johan Smallberger in their first Toyota 1000 Desert race, going strong.
The other Silvault team of Quinton and Cully from Elegant Fuel, hopefully they're finding things a lot easier in their car than their relatives in the Striker.
Always superb seeing how many fans attend this race. It really is fantastic to watch Johan van Staden and Mike Lawrenson from Atlas back on the road after their earlier puncture.
Philip de Vries and Johan Viljoen going steady in their Conqueror Porter. They've described this race as being an unbelievable experience, even though they encountered a fair bit of trouble along the way.
Here's a brilliant view from inside the hot seat, putting into perspective just how fast these cars are moving and how tight the route is.
It really is a challenging race, and to think they do this for 1,000 kilometers just boggles the mind.
Local Keith DeToy and Keith Solomon in their White Star Racing bat, with Keith playing in his backyard, so to speak, having an exceptional race.
Nardis and Louis Alberts, who have been plagued by punctures, were still very much in the running.
Leaders in Class E, the consistent finishers Dirk Putter and Jacobus Claessens in their Ford Ranger, again showing their true colours.
No stone left unturned as locals do anything to get the best possible seat in the house, and it's certainly worth it as they get to see the likes of Jason Fenter and Vincent van Alleman from Tryson Racing pushing on. More action coming up in the Donaldson Cross Country Championship.
Welcome back to the Donaldson Cross Country Championship. So after 150 kilometers into the final day, Anthony Taylor and Dennis Murphy still in the lead, followed by Hugo de Bruyn and Henry Hugo in second. In the specials, Matthews and Smith are well clear of Herman and Vecha Silvault, while the other pair of Silvaults, Cully and Quinton, are third.
No problems in front as Taylor and Murphy from Castrol Toyota continue to look strong. Taylor's seldom seen without a smile on his face, and you can bet he's wearing one right now.
Hugo de Bruyn and Henry Hugo doing their best to catch up comfortably in second place at the moment.
These crews certainly are motoring, Foss and Howie putting pressure on the leaders and teammates in their Toyota Hilux.
Dust is the order of the day. They may have dropped a spot, but Rundle and Moore from Regent Racing still have their sights on winning the Dakar Challenge.
Not far behind them, Visser and Bardnos from Ford Racing. Visser said it was extremely tough to overtake on this route.
Van Bouillon and Husselman in the Atlas Copco Hilux continuing to defy predictions. They are well within reach of a podium place at this rate, but they've come to a stop.
Als het 'n boom geslaan aan alle kante, was er niemand se stof gewees. En die wipers het vasgehard. Die slaan ons 'n boom. Ja, dus op daai stadium derde oor ongeluk, so. Ongelukkig.
A sad end to their race. I definitely spoke too soon.
There's no stopping Herman and Vicard Silvault and their Elegant Fuel Striker currently lying in second place.
Back to the productions, and good to see Christian Deploy and Henny de Steger still in the hunt, and it looks like they're gaining on someone up front.
It certainly does, and it looks as if it's the Imperial Automotive Nissan of Archie Rutherford with stand-in navigator Dion Fenter. Rob Simpson opted out after a very tough day in the navigator's seat on day 2.
All I can say is good luck to navigating at Sun City, Derek.
Thanks, Crystal. To be honest, I'm hoping I'll have plenty of fans like these to help point out the way, like they did for Johan van Staden and Mike Lawrenson from Atlas Copco.
Further back, the Elegant Fuel Bat Venom of the Silvaults, Quinton and Cully.
If you blink, you'll miss Henny de Klerk and Johan Smallberger in their LS Sports BMW.
Not so Nardis and Louis Alberts, their Rapsa Bat always accompanied by cheering fans.
We mentioned him earlier. Here's Jürgen Schroeder and Mike Abramson in their Regent Racing Nissan Navara.
And not far behind them, a special vehicle, the husband and wife team of Marius and Yolinda Fourie.
Another bat, this one belonging to the two Keiths, DeToy and Solomon.
Terence Marsh from Regent Racing described this route as being very nice, but admitted that the dust is awful.
No surprises there, the route being well handled now by Philip de Vries and Johan Viljoen in their Conqueror Porter.
Back to the leading E, Putter and Claessens in their Ford Ranger, putting in a workmanlike performance in an almost standard vehicle.
Fans, dust and motor vehicles everywhere, this one belonging to John Thompson and Maurice Matten, now leading Class P. What's happened to Matthews and Smith?
Well, let's wait and see, but still looking good in Class D. Jason Venter and Vincent van Alleman in their Tryson Racing Toyota Hilux.
Just one more loop to go as the drivers reach the safety of the DSP. Taylor and Murphy still in front in the production vehicle category.
Hugo managed to catch us there a little bit. We saw the streamer light come on, and then fortunately it was near to the end.
It hasn't been the greatest of days for Thomas Rundle and Joan Moore from Regent Racing. However, they're still in contention in the Dakar Challenge.
We've unfortunately lost fourth, fifth and sixth gear, so we've only got 1, 2, 3, and the gearbox doesn't sound good, so we're going to go out and go as long as we can.
They're lying in fourth spot, 13 minutes and 44 seconds behind the leaders, Taylor and Murphy. Iker de Bruin and Henry Hichu are second, while Foss and Howie have moved up to third place in their Castrol Toyota Hilux.
Bad news for Matthews and Smith. They broke their input shaft 10 kilometers from the end. They are out of the race, but it means we have a new leader.
We saw that Colin Matthews and them had a problem about 20 k's from the pit area, which is very unfortunate for them. They were going really well, but that puts us in the lead of the specials, I believe. So now we're just going to take it easy and try to get home.
The two have almost a 4-minute lead over their nearest competitors, their relatives Quinton and Cully Silvalt, also from Elegant Fuel. There's a massive gap though before third place, Nardis and Louis Alberts just over 33 minutes adrift. Back on the road, Taylor and Murphy from Castrol Toyota looking to continue their dominance of this race. Taylor's saying you can't take chances here.
Hichu de Bruin and Henry Hichu certainly caught up to the Hilux in the first loop, and this race is far from over.
Foss and Howie in another Castrol Toyota. Foss saying that the most important thing today is to just stay on the road.
Easier said than done, with dust like that everywhere to be found. The ever-dangerous pair of Visser and Badenhorst from the Ford Racing gaining ground. They suffered a puncture towards the end of Loop 1.
The first of the specials, Hammond and Vicard Silvalt, going at 80%, or so they say.
With Smith and Matthews out, Rundle and Moore in the Regent Racing Nissan are now the front-runners in the Dakar Challenge.
Christian Deploy and Henny Tersteger from RFS enjoying the route, but admitting it's tight, rocky, and of course, very dusty.
As mentioned earlier, they struggled to reach the finish in previous races. Oops, just coming to a temporary halt, gathering their thoughts and getting back on the route.
Close on their heels is the LA Sport BMW of Henny de Klerk and Johan Smallberger, apparently not missing a beat.
The Alberts, Nardis and Louis still holding on to third.
Further adrift, the Atlas Copco team of Van Staden and Lawrenson, their Hilux sporting a bent prop shaft.
You don't really get a better view of that in the distance. A unique feature of the desert race allows not finishers on day 2 to restart day 3 and earn valuable points, albeit only half points. Marius and Yolinda Fourie casualties on day 2, very much in contention for points given the amount of vehicles that are falling out.
And leaving another trail of dust in their wake. It's not a place you want to be if you don't like getting dirty. Not too far behind them, Malcolm Koch and Johan Berger also taking advantage of the situation after having retired with gearbox problems on day 2.
The leaders in Class P, John Thompson and Maurice Matten in their Zarco Magnum.
First time we're seeing Clint Gibson and Gary Campbell, the championship contenders, finding life difficult in their Dirt Sport Components Porter. All they want to do is finish and benefit from the bonus points.
The brother and sister team of Jacques and Lizelle van Tonder in their Ford Ranger are rookies to the event.
Well, they're certainly not racing like rookies. We're seeing the Zeely brothers for the first time in a while. Impressive performance from the Desert Race debutants in the Maxxis Liqui Moly Rockstar Porter. They expected more open space, but they do enjoy the tight stuff.
Still putting up a good fight, Keith DeToy and Keith Solomon in their bat.
It's been a fantastic ride from Jason Venter and Vincent van Alleman from Tryson Racing, still leading Class D in their Toyota Hilux.
So at the 340-kilometer mark, Taylor and Murphy still out in front, followed by De Bruin and Hichu. Foss and Howie are third, but they're being closely followed by Visser and Badenhorst. Dakar challengers Rundle and Moore leading the race to South America.
There's a change in the specials. While Hammond and Vicard Silvalt are still leading, the other Silvalts, Quinton and Cully, are out with a broken alternator. Not too long to go for Taylor and Murphy from Castrol Toyota. If they keep this up and don't suffer any mishaps, I think victory is assured.
Let's not be too confident, Derek. In this race, your fortunes can change in a heartbeat. Some more of the thousands of fans that have lined the route for this event, which is undoubtedly the biggest event in Botswana.
The cheers streaming in for Iku de Bruin and Henry Hiku. Their Micron Hilux may be battered, but they're in the running.
We said watch out for them, and it proved true. Chris Visser and Jaapie Badenhorst having made their way to third place, overtaking Vos and Howie in the process.
Well, there's the Castrol Toyota pair. They're in fourth place, so they're still competing, but currently just off the podium.
The leaders in the special vehicles having raced superbly thus far, Herman and Wichert Solwald.
Not long to go for the fans, and not long to go for Christian Deploy and Henny Testierke, currently lying in fifth place, with Testierke having come out of retirement to take over from Henk Janssen van Buren, whose wife is expecting a baby.
All eyes on Rundle and Moore, who left the service park on a wing and a prayer with only 3 gears to work with. They are currently leading the Dakar Challenge. Can they make it to the finish and book their ticket to South America?
Johan van Staden and Mike Lawrenson keeping the Atlas Copco flag flying high in their Toyota Hilux.
Back to another BMW, this belonging to Henny de Klerk and Johan Smallberger.
Well, a cozy group of spectators enjoying all the action thus far.
Marius and Yolinda Fourie may not have finished day 2, but they are here in their PHB Batspec 4 competing for half points.
They're not the only ones. Championship run runners Clint Gibson and Gary Campbell looking to salvage valuable points in their Dirt Sport Components Porter.
Swaziland-based driver John Thompson and Maurice Martin in their best performance of the year and likely to finish on the podium.
So far, superb performance from Desert Race debutants Daniel and Lo Zili in their Maxis Liqui Molly Rockstar Porter.
And in their dust, Johan Berger and Malcolm Koch, also trying to salvage as many points as possible in their Koch and Sons Toyota Hilux.
No half points for locals Keith Dutour and Keith Solomon, going very smoothly in their White Star Racing Bat.
It's certainly been a terrific performance from the brother and sister combination of Jacques and Lizelle van Tonder, looking for a top 10 finish in their Uni-Freight Ford Ranger.
And they're ahead of the Regent Racing duo of Jürgen Schroeder and Mike Abramson.
They may not have finished day 2, but are desperate to finish day 3. Rowan Lamb and Lyle Parker in the Force Fuel Ford Ranger.
The young Northwest crew of Jason Fenter and Vincent van Alleman have stuck to their early race strategy, take it easy, and are the only Class D competitors likely to finish the race.
Currently lying in 9th in the productions, Terence Marsh and Gerard Skitter of the Regent Racing Team.
Reigning Class E champions Dirk Putter and Koos Claessens look set to be the lone finishers in their category.
Philip de Vries and Johan Viljoen currently lying in 5th place in the Conqueror Porter. Well, what a victory, and witnessed by thousands of appreciating fans capturing their second victory on the trot. Anthony Taylor and Dennis Murphy from Castrol Toyota, the winners in the production vehicle category in the Toyota Kalahari Botswana 1000 Desert Race.
Not too far behind them, Iku de Bruin and Henry Hiku, the Northwest pair, were never out of the top 3 throughout the weekend in their Micron Toyota Hilux.
Great excitement as to who will round off the podium. And it's Chris Visser and Jaapie Badenhorst from Ford Racing, another brilliant drive from the gentlemen of the Donaldson Cross Country Championship.
Taylor and Murphy finishing 8 minutes and 29 seconds clear of de Bruin and Hiku, who finished just ahead of Visser and Badenhorst. Short on their heels, defending champs Vos and Howie. In 4th, Broadenome ahead of Deploy and Testierke to round off the top 5. Anthony Taylor finished 2nd year last year, but this time round, together with Dennis Murphy, the pair pulled off a sensational win.
Anthony, incredible.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely unbelievable. It's exactly what I've been wanting for the last 2 years, and finally the 3rd year I've managed to do it. And you know what made it even more special is that to do it in the Toyota, in Toyota country, with all these spectators around, it's unbelievable. And the feeling is just, I don't think it's going to die down until tomorrow morning.
Dennis, how did you find it?
Yeah, the route was tough, eh? We had a hard time on the body today, but Toyota held up good. It was a good race, eh?
And tied for the top of the championship?
Yeah, tied now, so makes the race even better for the rest of the year.
So nothing to separate Taylor and Murphy from Visser and Badenhorst. 2012 Donaldson Cross Country champions Vos and Howie are more than 30 points off the pace in 3rd place.
Over in the specials, a great win for father and son pair Hammond and Vichard Sulwald from Elegant Fuel Racing, erasing an unpleasant memory for the duo, who a couple of years ago spent a cold night in the desert after a mechanical breakdown.
Keith DeToy and Keith Solomon ended second, while John Thompson and Maurice Martin rounded off the podium.
Celebrations all round for what was undoubtedly one of the toughest races, if not the toughest, on the Donaldson Cross Country Championship calendar.
Today a dream come true. It's a dream to win a prestige event like this in a nice country, beautiful scenery, the times that we had to look around, friendly people. There's so many spectators along the route. It's just an unreal, something different than what we used to in South Africa. Very nice, thanks.
I can say the Bushveld definitely won today. We're broken. It was really rough. So yeah, it was good fun, but very rough, and well, it feels well deserved. So thank you very much.
The Sulwalds moving to the top of the championship, just clear of Evan Hutchison and Donnie Stassen. Clint Gibson and Gary Campbell just below them after a tough time out in the desert.
Coming up next time, we look at the battles within the classes.
Discover the Dakar Challenge in detail.
See how police stand strong in Botswana.
Explore that beautiful country.
And we also meet the lady drivers in the Donaldson Cross Country Championship.
And get to grips with the Toyota Kalahari Botswana Desert Race.
The Donaldson Cross Country Championship, brought to you by Donaldson Filtration Systems, a market leader in filtration solutions.